The Kansas City Chiefs are gearing up for the first of their two showdowns this season with the Denver Broncos, and the most consequential quarterback in this showdown might not be Patrick Mahomes. Bo Nix is having a pretty good season, and we will look at a little bit of that in a moment, but the Denver Broncos are on a wild streak of wins. They are on the back of a very good season, and the Chiefs have to stop that in order to maybe to make the playoffs, but certainly in order to have any hope at all of winning the division. So we're going to look at an article from Arrowhead Pride and some statistics on the season to say how the Chiefs could defend against Bo Nix. In an article titled "The Chiefs' Defense is Preparing for a More Confident Bo Nix on Sunday," subtitled "Kansas City's Coaches and Players Know That Bo Nix Has Evolved Since His Rookie Season," from Arrowhead Pride by Rico Mendoza. And by the way, he had an offensive rookie of the year type rookie season, so to be better than that is indeed something to behold. The article begins as such. As the Kansas City Chiefs prepare for this Sunday's big divisional matchup against the Denver Broncos, the Chiefs coaches and players understand that the Broncos' second-year quarterback Bo Nix isn't the same player they saw last season. Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo sees the player with confidence. Nix looks like he has full command of what to do at the line of scrimmage, Spagnuolo told reporters on Thursday. You could see that last year. As the year went on, he got better and better at that. I think the coaches obviously have confidence in him now with changing plays, and he's another athletic quarterback. Those guys are always a little bit of a headache because even when you're right in what you're doing, they can make you look bad by making you miss. With a record of 8-2, Denver leads the AFC West behind an offense built on taking what's available, an efficient approach that mirrors Nix's style. While his 60.9% completion rate and 6.1 yards per attempt may rank low among his peers, he's ranked 5th in total completions, 213, and 2nd in pass attempts, 350. While these are not flashy numbers, he's thrown for 2,126 yards and 18 touchdowns through 10 games, with only 8 interceptions. Kansas City head coach Andy Reid also sees the Broncos quarterback following a positive developmental curve under head coach Sean Payton. He's picking up what Sean is asking him to do. Said Reid, then executing it and doing a good job of that. That's a primary responsibility of the quarterback. You're going to be given a scheme, then you've got to become a master of it, and then make everybody around you better. He's done a nice job of that. The threat of Nix's passing complements Denver's real strength, its running game. And the Broncos claim the league's 9th spot in rushing yards, averaging 128.6 per game. This opens up play-action passes for the Broncos' offense. Spagnuolo believes that will be one of the biggest challenges his unit will face on Sunday. So this number right here, 128.6 rushing yards per game. The Chiefs have done a really good job this season against the run. The Chiefs have done a very good job even against big-time backs this season. So I'm not going to say that the Broncos offense will be one-dimensional. I'm not going to say that they're going to take the running game out of things for Denver. But I do think that the Broncos will not be able to lean on the running game to the tune of a top 10 ranking in the NFL, not this Sunday. I think that the Broncos are going to be forced to throw more often. So what is that going to look like for their offense? Well, this is Bo Nix this season. PFF has him with a 70.6 overall grade, a 69 passing grade, and a 67.4 rushing grade. He has thrown the ball 350 times, 18 touchdowns, 2,126 yards, and has only given away 8 interceptions on the season. But what does that mean? What are we looking at? Well, keep in mind that he has one more game than Patrick Mahomes. But this is what Patrick Mahomes has done. a 76.4 overall grade compared to the 70.6 of Bo Nix, a 70.9 passing score compared to the 69 of Bo Nix. So just basically 2 points higher in passing grading than Bo Nix. Where it makes up the great chasm of 6 points in the overall grade is Patrick Mahomes has been really good running the ball this year with an 86.9 rushing grade. But who cares all that much about the grades? What do the statistics themselves say? Well, worth keeping in mind, the Broncos have played one more game than have the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes has thrown the ball 35 times fewer, ended up with one fewer touchdown, 17 versus 18, and this is in one fewer game as well, so he will probably get to that number this week. What will the difference be between these numbers? Will he throw for more than one touchdown? And then he has 220 more passing yards in one fewer game. So, should he go for 300 yards in this game, he will be 500 yards above the pace for Bo Nix. But he has only thrown 5 interceptions compared to the 8 by Bo Nix. So, still, what you're looking at here is not Patrick Mahomes, but it's not far off. These numbers, and I don't mean talent-wise, I do think that Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. I'm not making any judgments there. What I'm saying is that pure numbers-wise, and you can get through to these numbers a lot through scheming, right? So Sean Payton is a very good head coach, and that is part of how we have Bo Nix doing so well so early in his young career. So, how do the Chiefs stop this? Well, a lot of the commentary that came out this week was talking about how Bo Nix does not do well against a four-man front. When you drop more players into coverage, he makes worse decisions. When you rush fewer players and still get pressure, Bo Nix struggles. Surprise, right? Obviously. But the interesting thing is, of Denver's 5 listed starting offensive linemen, only one is credited with any sacks allowed this season. That's right, 4 of the 5 offensive linemen for the Denver Broncos, according to PFF, have been credited 0 sacks allowed this year. So Quinn Miners is technically the weak link along the offensive line, but his pass blocking grade is a 71.8, his run blocking grade an 83.7 on 640 offensive snaps, and only 3 penalties so far this season. Would you look at that, Jawaan Taylor? So it's going to be very difficult for the Chiefs to get that pressure that tends to lead to Bo Nix making mistakes. That's not going to be the end of the world, because I do think it's going to be more difficult for the Broncos to run on the Kansas City Chiefs than they have had rushing so far this season, averaging that 128.3 yards per game, whatever it was a minute ago. But that means that it's going to be on Bo Nix to win this game. Can he do that? Well, he has 3 fourth-quarter comebacks already this season. He is not bad in that drill. He's not bad leading his team. We saw Chris Jones, who could be the answer here, right? Chris Jones getting back to his old ways, earning some of that very large cash pile that he's been given. Chris Jones this week talked extensively, well, maybe not extensively, but did talk about the Chiefs knowing, right? It's 1-0 every week now. The Chiefs know this is the time they have to come out and do it. And that's a good sign. If the Chiefs understand that now, why is that a good sign? Well, the Chiefs are built for the playoffs. And if the playoffs start in week 10, then by God, the playoffs start in week 10. We've seen the Chiefs time and again come out and lace them up in the playoffs only to make a long run. They've been to the AFC Championship for how many years in a row now? You only do that by taking things 1 week at a time in the postseason. They have not done that yet this year, and you can't blame them. It is a very long 17-game schedule, but they may have painted themselves into the corner where they now have to do that a little bit over halfway through the season, which is not a good sign for their longevity as far as being loose is concerned, but it is a good sign that they're going to be sharp moving forward. Really, Broncos, Chargers, those are must-win games at all costs. Right now, that gets you to 5, 6, 7, 8 wins. You would only have to pick up 2 more wins along the way to probably make the playoffs. If you got to 11 wins, that would almost definitely get you into the playoffs. But anyway, guys, that is what I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. And as always, I hope to have you back for the next one.